I'm babysitting black-eyed children, part 2. This wonderful series is written by Reddit user RoseBlack2222. Now grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. Okay, so I've been looking up different means of dealing with the kids and their parents. I've seen claims they are vampires. In that regard, I've tried some of the classic weaknesses associated with vampires. However, the garlic and religious symbols I put around them don't seem to be affecting them in the slightest. It may have something to do with the fact that I myself am not a religious person, or maybe they aren't vampires after all. Granted, I haven't tried the oak stake through the heart method, but I doubt I'll get the opportunity to. The other theories I have heard are them being aliens or demons of some kind. If the former was true, I wasn't really sure what I could do to get rid of them, other than cooperate and hope for the best. If they were the latter, some kind of ritual might do the trick. The issue is that I don't know which one to use. There are lots of different rituals as it turns out, and I doubt I'd be let off easy if I tried one and it doesn't work. I'm not sure what we stole from that grave is being used for. I tried going down into the basement to check. When I tried opening the door, however, I found I was unable to. No doubt this is the kids' doing. Speaking of whom, they made me do something else tonight that I'm not proud of. This particular task required me to go to the store. Although that sounds like an easy thing to do, it ended up being far more complicated than I thought it would be. The children, being distrustful, decided to accompany me to make sure I wouldn't end up doing any funny business. We ran into a problem. The store closed earlier than expected. "Hey, what's the big idea? I thought this place closes at 7. It's only 6. I said to who I assumed was the manager or assistant manager locking the door. "Sorry, but we're closing early due to being short-staffed," he replied. "I didn't know. Can you let me in? I only have a few things to get. It won't take long." "I would, but it's not up to me. Again, sorry. We open back up at 6. He walked by me and I was left feeling defeated. I went back to my car to let the kids know of the bad news. Needless to say, they didn't take it well. "Our parents gave us specific tasks to do for each day. If we don't fulfill them, they will be disappointed," Abraham said. "Well, I don't see how that's my problem. If you wanted me to go to the store, you should have asked something earlier." "The store being closed is not a factor in whether or not our task gets done," Louise said. "What do you want me to do, break in?" The kids only stared in response. "You can't wait until tomorrow?" They shook their heads. "And if I don't, I'll end up like that groundskeeper?" They nodded, and I sighed. I thought that I would have to break in. Had that been the case, the store's alarm would have been a pain to deal with. Luckily for me, I noticed the employee before heading back towards the store. He must have forgotten something because he unlocked the back door. Also lucky for me, he left it ajar. I slipped inside and began searching for what I needed to get. The things I needed were some chalk, black or red candles, sea salt, and a sketchbook. While I could find these items without much trouble, the issue was avoiding detection. The employee I talked with seemed to be frantically looking for something. This was a huge pain in the ass because he was searching in the area at the store the stuff I needed was. I did my best to go unnoticed. However, that was easier said than done. I managed to get everything but sea salt. I went to the aisle that had it. I found it on the top shelf. As I grabbed it though, I noticed something else between the bottles. I grabbed and pulled it off the shelf to find that it was a cell phone. I put 2 and 2 together and figured that it was probably what that employee was looking for. Speaking of whom, he found me holding it, which led to a misunderstanding. "What the hell are you doing in here?" he asked. "I already told you we're closed and... Is that my phone?" "Yes, you were looking for it, right?" He nodded. "And seeing as how I found it, could you do me a favour and bring this stuff up for me?" I handed his phone back to him and he looked at it and let out a sigh. "Look, I really appreciate you finding my phone for me, but if I ring up any new items I could be fired. Besides, you aren't even supposed to be in here anyway." "I see. Well, there's only one thing I can do then." I abruptly turned and began running towards the exit with the stuff I got. I heard the man curse loudly and run after me. I was able to make it out to the back door. I thought I was going to reach my car and get away scot-free. That was until I got slide tackled by a police officer. "You've got some nerve," he told me. "Wait, you don't understand," I replied, trying to reason with him. "Oh, I understand. You thought you could steal from a store that's already running low on shit people need. We already had enough trouble with selfish assholes who buy 100 rolls of toilet paper in bulk. We don't need shoplifters on top of that." I felt him put handcuffs on me. "Oh, come on. I didn't even take anything important and would have paid for it." I gritted in pain from how tight the cuffs were. "Sure you were. Also, chalk? Sketchbook? Most people would only steal what they need in times like these. I guess you're a dumbass on top of being a thief." "I already told you I'm not a thief, or at least I wasn't trying to be." The cop ignored my words. He planted a foot firmly on my back as he picked up the stuff I grabbed. Then he proceeded to hand it back to the employee. That was when I noticed something that made me feel the colour drain from my face. The back doors of my car were open and the children were no longer in it. "Guys, I'm telling you, I need those things," I shouted. The cop cut me off and telling me to shut up until the employee pointed something out to him. It was that the kids were standing before them. Their features were obscured by shadows. "The hell are a couple of kids doing out so late?" the cop muttered. "They're with me," I told him. "I'm their babysitter." "Is that right?" he chuckled. "Hey kids, sorry you have to see this." He yanked me to my feet. He then asked the employee to watch the kids while he put me in his patrol car. He yanked me to my feet and started walking me towards it. He paused when he realised the kids were coming towards us. His and the employee's eyes grew wide when they were close enough for them to make out their features. "May we please have that basket?" Abraham said. The employee attempted fleeing. When he did, Louise began spewing that dark inky substance from her mouth. The cop, presumably on autopilot, took out his gun and tried to fire at her. She didn't give him the chance to. The inky stuff shot towards him fast enough to surpass any bullet. I thought she was going to do what she did to that groundskeeper last night. Instead, I saw that his eyes had become black like theirs. A stream of that inky stuff was connecting him and her like strings to a marionette. She made him raise his gun and shoot at the employee. The shots hit him in the back dead on. Then she made the cop put the gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger. I can tell you firsthand that the sight and smell of a man's thoughts being splattered on a parking lot is not healthy for one's mental state. Shocking, I know. I threw up on the spot. Abraham went over to the deceased employee and grabbed a basket from him. Then he and Louise went back to my car. To make matters worse, in addition to what I had seen, it was in sight of some security cameras. Trying to explain what happened to anyone who saw the footage would have no doubt caused me more trouble. Plus, some of the cameras probably caught me stealing from the store now that I think about it. I went back inside the store and located its security room and erased the footage after Abraham used the keys on the cop's belt to unlock the cuffs I had on. I stored some cleaning supplies, including drain cleaner after that. I put the cop and employees' bodies in my trunk and then cleaned their remains off the parking lot. When we got home, I used the drain cleaner to dispose of their bodies. The kids once again took the things we got down to the basement. In spite of what I've witnessed during these past couple of days, I can't help but feel a growing curiosity towards what the kids' tasks are leading up to. Hopefully I won't have too many other corpses to dispose of in the process. Wow, that was an epic first episode. If you enjoyed listening to this installment, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile, RoseBlack2222, and drop them a line and tell them what you think of their story. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. Be sure to also check out their Patreon for even more stories. The link to their Patreon will also be below. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed my narration, then please feel free to like and share the video, leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Have you had any cryptic sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters, or even had a creepy or terrifying situation you would like to share? Have you written a CreepyPasta story you would like me to narrate? You can submit all your stories to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's not a problem. I will honour your wishes. Now I also have a new Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit and Discord. Again, all my relevant links will be below. If you would like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/Cryptids Roost. Again, that'll also be listed below. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.